hype about living the dream? It's time for truth. This is the place for tools, power, and real talk so you can create the life you dream and deserve. Your ultimate life. Subscribe, share, create. You have infinite power.
Welcome to your ultimate life. And I mean that. I picked this background today. I hope you're watching the video. It's a beautiful, serene picture on a lake. And I can't remember if I took that picture. I found it somewhere. I think I did. I don't think it's a lake. I think it's the river valley on the North Saskatchewan River, somewhere here in Edmonton. But anyway, beautiful, serene picture. And I'm recording this on the U.S. Thanksgiving. Now, I live in Canada. And Canadian Thanksgiving, second Monday in October, so 6 weeks ago. But U.S. Thanksgiving is not a holiday up here, but kind of. Both Joy and I are U.S. citizens as well as, Canadians, so we kind of observe both. Yippee, how fun. And there's a lot of peace in that picture. And I did that on purpose because I want to suggest something to you. This podcast is about creating your ultimate life. I want you to think with me for a minute. What are your words? Mine are purpose, prosperity, and joy. That means having a driving life purpose that motivates me every single day, that lights me up, that is fuel, it is joy, it is power. It makes me do everything. That purpose this year, the expression is to help 300 million people create wealth and impact by serving with their gifts and life experience. Your gifts, your skills, and your life experience. Now, that might sound kind of woo-woo, but if you're a lawyer, you have a skill you've learned. If you listen really well, you also have a gift that augments that skill. If you're really good at seeing the big picture and making connections, you have another gift that augments that skill. If you have situations in your life that drove you to practice a particular area of law, then you have a more powerful thing. I'll give you an example. I have a client, not an active one now, but it was a client several years ago, who late in their life chose, I think in late 40s or early 50s, to go to law school and become an attorney. It was a difficult and daunting task, but they completed that and passed the bar. And that's a few years ago now, so they've been practicing for 5 or 6 years. They chose a particular area of law, and that was family law. And they chose the specialty of representing men in custody cases. Now, the life experience that drove that choice was seeing how the system, in the opinion of this person, mistreated their son and stripped him or curtailed visitation and other rights unjustly. And it was so infuriating that they decided to go to law school and represent that, in their mind, underrepresented group of people more powerfully and more fully. And it was even more interesting because this person was a woman. And she saw her son being treated that way and said, they favor women. And she was a woman. She said, but it's not right. It's not fair. And so she's gone to town to do that and be the pit bull representing that particular segment. Now, I want you to think about this because finding your life purpose isn't as hard as you think. I talk over and over again about people say, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my purpose is. I wish I had a purpose. It doesn't come fully formed and clear all at once, usually. Once in a great while, I hear someone that represents that or says that is how they feel about what happened to them. It comes by gradual accumulation of life experience. It comes by looking at the skills you have already. Maybe you went to school for them and maybe you developed them another way. It comes by looking at your natural gifts. It comes by listening to the intuition that pulls you in a certain direction. I should do something about that. It comes by saying yes. It comes by looking at the pile of skills you have the gifts you know you have, and the life experience, what that's taught you. So I gave you an example of this particular attorney. Me, I'm a coach, but I'm a special kind of coach. I'm a coach for high performers who are damn sick and tired of settling for mediocrity, who know they are meant to have an impact in the world, do good, add good to the world, lift and bless others in their own chosen way. That's why I was that woman's coach, because she had a chosen way and I was helping her get there. I want you to think about that. My specialty is I coach high performers who are committed to change the world by using their skills, their gifts, and their life experience, who have a mission. I'm the coach for visionaries, for missionaries that feel like they have a mission. I'm not talking about some religion. But those are the people that I attract. They're the people that I can launch clear through the stratosphere to make boatloads of cash and boatloads of impact. So, and how did I get there? Well, skills. I had a lot of executive experience, a lot of leadership experience. So I understand the challenges, including C-suite stuff. I understand the challenges of leading. I understand the challenges of being in a C-suite. I understand the challenges of being challenged and smashed and bashed by stakeholders and others in the corporate setting. I have a personal set of experiences with depression, addictions, abuse, being abused, and all kinds of stuff, self-loathing, self-sabotage for decades, not just a few minutes, and then dramatic transformation that allowed me to understand what had happened, use it to my benefit, and create myself in a powerful way. So I looked at what? My skills, my gifts, and my life experience. A gift that I have is I have a gift of speaking. I also have the gift of power, presence. When I'm with people, they connect deeply. So marrying those gifts has given me my life purpose. This year, I express it as I'm helping 300 million people create wealth and impact by using their triple helix, their purpose, finding and using that to create wealth and impact. So that's what I wanted to say by introduction, because that's what the purpose of this podcast is. Now, I'm going to invite you. Please go to KellenFlukigerMedia.com. You see it there on the screen. KellenFlukigerMedia.com. Make sure you spell my name right. What you'll find there is you'll find all the social places where we can connect. You'll find an email. You can get a hold of me. You'll find a link tree to check out different things. You'll find my podcast place. And if you're already listening, you have that. Find my LA Talk radio show. You'll find all the books that I've written, talks that I've given. The reason I'm saying go there is help. If you're looking to create your ultimate life and you're not already creating the wealth you want and your own purpose and joy, and I know you have different words, so use your words. I say purpose, prosperity, and joy. You might say wealth, freedom, and happiness. I don't know. But whatever it is, if you're not living all in with that, we need to talk, because I've learned how to get there. And my mission is to help you get there. That's all I do. And I love it. It makes me purpose, prosperity, and joy. Yeah, it's my life purpose, plenty of cash, and it's joyful beyond words for me. So I want you to think about your ultimate life here as we start this, because I want you to just decide that you're done settling for mediocrity. You're done making excuses. You're done feeling like I can't do this. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get the help. It's available. There isn't a challenge that you can bring that we don't know how to do. I challenge you to bring me a problem we can't solve. I've never encountered someone. I've encountered lots of people that think their problems are insoluble, but when we dig in, they realize they're not. And there's plenty they can individually do. And it isn't, well, if they would only, and if this would happen, externalities, because we don't control those mostly. All right. So today I titled this The Law of Perseverance. And the reason that I said all that stuff to start with about creating your ultimate life is because that's what the podcast is for. And the law of perseverance is just a phrase that I'm using that represents a fundamental truth. Have you ever been on a mountainside where, you look on the mountain and it's really barren, like just solid rock. And then somewhere right there in the mountain, you'll see a little plant growing up through the rocks. And I don't know about you, but when I see that, I marvel at the tenacity and the power of this little plant to brave wind, cold, whatever it is, and be there. It just blows my mind. You and I were like that. I don't care what your environment is. Forward progress is your birthright. Now, you're free to give up and lay down and, settle for mediocrity and die, but I don't think that's what your heart wants. I think what you want is to change it, to grow, to get on a trajectory out and up. And I can tell you, promise you, that's available to you. I can also promise that you are important, divine, you matter, and I need, as well as many others need, to hear your voice, your story, your passion. That's important. And what I've learned in my work is that being the very best that we can be is the most glorious gift we can give the world. It's the most glorious gift we can give ourselves, the most glorious gift we can give to others, friends, family, close ones, our mates, being the very best we can be. Now, that is an endless journey, and it's full of ups and downs and crashing and burning, and, it's a spiral, right? And we spiral up. And even if there's ups and downs, the gradual trend is up, up, up. You're worth it. So let's get talking about one piece of that journey, which is this law of perseverance. Now, back to the plant. If a little seedling was starting to grow and it got cold and the seedling said, dang, this is just too flippin' cold, I'm done trying, then we'd never see that little tree or bush on the side of the mountain. Now I realize, or at least I don't think they talk or think like we do, but they kept going, kept growing. They didn't quit. Now, it is in the nature of their DNA to do that, but it's also in yours and mine. Quitting, giving up, is a learned behavior. Hear that? Quitting, giving up, mediocrity, that's a learned behavior. When we're little, we don't quit. We keep going until we master whatever, learning to walk, learning to speak, trying to put a puzzle together, whatever it is, we just, we don't quit. And sometimes, a little kid in frustration will throw something, but almost without exception, they'll come back and do it again, do it again, till they figure it out. That is one characteristic of this law of perseverance. The little bush on the side of a windswept piece of granite. A kid that won't give up until they can stand up and then walk and then run. You, no matter what your setback, get up. The person who gets up, who says, what else can I do? Who says, what magic can I create from this mess? What miracle can I manufacture from this mud? That's the question you ask. That's one of the reasons I love being in the coaching business, because I get to help. I get to be there at those moments of determination and sometimes the moments of desperation. But we can turn moments of desperation into mountains of determination. That is what transformation is about. We can turn moments of desperation into mountains of determination, and that happens as we change who we are being. Being is everything, because from the place of being, the doing of stuff is simple. It's automatic. It's obvious. It's only hard when we're trying to do something that we don't believe in, when we're trying to do something that's inconsistent with who we're being. So I want to talk about some specifics about perseverance. And you know what the word means. Perseverance means keep going until you get over the goal line. Maybe you've seen some professional football where somebody's got the ball and they're running and then they get mobbed to be tackled. And then through some heroic effort, they push through another half a yard, another yard, or maybe 2 or 3 yards. And it's almost like, how did they do that? There seems like there's 5 guys on top of them, and you see them slogging through another yard or 2. That's perseverance. That is pushing through against the obstacle. It is not giving up. I have a friend who says here's how he tests people. He'll take them to the gym, and he'll watch how they work out. And they're going to do a set of reps of curls or something. And some people, when they're doing reps, they'll do one that's hard, and then they'll rack the weight. And the minute it gets hard, they're done. They rack it. Another person, another type is they'll do a hard one, and then they'll just push out 1 or 2 more and just strain on the last one. Then they'll rack the weight. In his mind, that is the way he decides whether or not to hire them. Because when they are the kind of person that pushes through in an extreme way, when the obstacle is clear and present, then in his mind, he's certain that they will demonstrate that same kind of behavior in other tasks and projects related to work. And I agree with that, because the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. It's who we are. It goes back to that being thing. I'm a person who pushes against obstacles. I'm going to try to do one more. I'm going to try to do just one more. And that actually is me. When I do my push-ups in the morning, I'll try to do one more. And if I didn't quite reach the number I could because I just couldn't, number I wanted, then I'll wait like 30 seconds and do 3 or 4 more to get there, because I'm going to get there. So that describes me. All right. So perseverance is keeping moving against resistance. I want to differentiate that from just activity. We all know what busy work is. Doing stuff just to be doing is not perseverance, it's distraction. It's actually procrastination. We're filling up the time with empty motion so we can justify not making progress and somehow salve our conscience from the feeling that we're messing around. That's not what I'm talking about. Perseverance is moving forward. And when you hit an obstacle, you sit and you say, what do I need to do? You get help, talk to your coach. All right, I got here, this obstacle stopped me. Maybe it's a physical obstacle like push-ups. Most often it's a spiritual, energetic, or mental obstacle. I don't know how, I got scared, I failed and quit, whatever it is, and you get the kind of help you need. And that help isn't, you dumb idiot, you should have done better, you should have quit. You're not trying that hard. That negative energy doesn't create perseverance, it creates quitting. Okay. So another piece of that, what I just described, is not repeating mistakes. Mistakes, let's just call that activities that didn't produce the intended result. So I thought if I did this, I'd get that. I did this and got something else. Unless that's better, I'm like, oh, I did this and it didn't work. I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to repeat that action that didn't result in my outcome. It was a mistake, unintentional, but it didn't work. So, all right. So the next thing is to talk about how you create perseverance, because it's easy for me to say, persevere to myself or to you. Here's what I do to keep moving. I have a goal this year of 300 million, right? My year started October 14th, which is 6 weeks ago today, because I'm recording this on Thanksgiving. You won't see it till January sometime. When I get discouraged, when I look at my progress and think, I don't know if this trajectory goes through 300 million on the graph, I just revisit my vision. I envision the power of 300 million people who have changed from giving up, from believing they can't, from thinking they're less than or not that good, to owning the truth of their divinity, owning the truth of their capability and possibility, and taking action based on that ownership. I envision 300 million people identifying their superpower, looking at their own lives and saying, what do I really have to offer the world? What do I really have that could be valuable? Most people start to do that and you go, I got nothing. That's not true. All that meant is you didn't stay with it long enough to figure out what it was. You have a superpower. I don't know if you know what it is yet. If you want help, I'd love to do that too. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to help you right here, right now, figure out your superpower and figure out what to do with it and figure out how to serve with it and figure out how to turn it into good coin. That's all I do. That's called coaching, but it's a lot more than that. It's listening, it's understanding, it's encouraging. It is believing in you. All right. So whenever I need energy, I revisit my purpose. Now, my purpose is forged out of my own failures, my own addictions and relationship failures and failures with my kids and failures with myself and mistakes aplenty. And I've mentioned some of those before. And if you want to read details therein, Tightrope of Depression. And again, I want to encourage you, go to this URL, kellenflukigermedia.com, and you'll see a bunch of books. 14 books are there. I've written 20, but 14 are on that page about all kinds of topics that will help you get where you want to go. Break the spell that's on you that says, I can't, I'm not, it won't. I saw someone the other day with a Facebook ad, and they talk about spell breaking. I call it breaking your context, right? Changing your beliefs. This person uses the idea that, this stuff that's happened to us has created a spell of belief that limits us, and that's true. And what you call it doesn't matter. What matters is it isn't permanent, and you can change it. So when I need more energy, I revisit my vision. I'm reaching 300 million people. I'm going to help them. I visit my purpose because I can see what the world or their neighborhood or my neighborhood or their family or my family would be like if they were living as best they could every day that purpose. Now, nobody's perfect. So one of my declarations is I am that when I fall or fail in any of my declarations, and I have many, I get up, fess up, clean it up, and recommit. Not pretending anything away. So here's what I also know. Perseverance is required because this process is hard. This process is not trivial. The process of continually growing, continually showing up for the game. Ask any bodybuilder, ask any athlete. Stephen Pressfield wrote a series of books. They all look the same. They're white covers. The War of Art, Turning Pro, Put Your Ass Where Your Heart Wants to Be, The Artist's Journey. Those are not in the right order. I think Put Your Ass Where Your Heart Wants to Be is the latest one. And one of the things he talks about repeatedly is this resistance, which is the feeling that, I'm never going to get there. I can't do it. We make excuses and procrastinate. But he talks about the need to just show up and do the work. That's perseverance. Thinking about your goal, thinking about the vision, thinking about your life purpose is energy, fuel, gasoline, motivation, solar power, whatever it is to keep you moving. Now, about this purpose business, it isn't going to come in an Amazon box. It isn't even going to come after you look at your life experience, your skills, and your gifts right away. You're going to have to forge it. When you look at those things, you'll get an idea. You'll feel called to certain groups and certain messages. You will. And don't think you won't because you haven't done the work yet. And if you want help, you need to get a hold of me because that's what I love helping people do. And then you need to do something with it. Because having a purpose, I'd like to end world hunger. I want to help women become financially literate. I'd like to help people get up in the top 1% of wealth and then use all that wealth for good. I know somebody that's their goal. I want to turn all the 1%ers into do-gooders, philanthropists, people that are actively engaged in raising the consciousness and love in the world. That's their goal, and that's fabulous, but it's really clear what they're trying to get done. Now, the process of getting up the mountain is arduous, no matter what you declare your goal to be. So you'll get an idea of the goal, your purpose, your mission, and then you'll forge it and you'll mess with it and you'll play with the clay and you'll reform it and you'll bake it, and maybe it'll be wrong. You'll have to break it and reforge it again. That's okay. That's okay. Think about someone that plays on a basketball team or a football team. They might think they're this position, and then they end up working on a team or working in college and even in the pros for a little while, and they realize, you know what, they're better suited for that position. And so they switch. What do you know? That's okay. You're going to do that. I've changed the expression of my passion, which is, as a coach, to lift and bless you so you can make the cash and the impact you want in the world using the gifts and skills and talents that you have. That's what I do. I don't teach drop shipping. I don't coach eBay sales. I coach individuals who are tired of mediocrity, who want to use their gifts, their skills, their life experience to change the world and make a boatload of cash. That's the group I work with. And I succeed every time if you do the work. So here's the thing. As you declare a purpose that comes to you from this work that we do, then you say, wow, I am that. And that'll go through several iterations or versions, like molding clay or painting a picture. Oh, you know, it looks better if I do this or add this color. And so I've changed the expression of mine several times. And keeping going, continuing to move through all that takes, guess what? The P word, perseverance. So one of the most effective tools to do that, keep going, save the best for last, is to fall in love with the process. When I'm working on the piano, and I work a lot on the piano, I practice every day, if I hated practicing, I'd never get really good. So I love practicing. I love how my fingers feel when I'm working them out with exercises. And then when I'm going to songs and I'm singing with them and making mistakes and, improving and getting my range to go where I want it to do. And, I've fallen in love with the process. Same in the recording studio. I'm mixing a song right now that'll be done pretty quick. By the time this is out, it'll be long released on Spotify and Amazon and everywhere else. But I've fallen in love with the recording and mixing and artistic and expression process, not just the final thing. So, and that's a learned skill. We have this disease that everything needs to be immediate, download and double click, and it's not true. So learn to fall in love with the process. Now, I want to give you one final thought as we get toward the end here, and that is this. You're trying to grow. You're trying to grow your money. You're trying to grow your influence. You're trying to grow your happiness. You're trying to grow your relationship. You're trying to grow your joy. Maybe you're trying to work out and grow your body. Here's what I can tell you. Growth responds to certain things. It doesn't respond to hatred. It doesn't respond to negative self-talk. It doesn't respond to blaming. It responds to love. It responds to effort. It responds to forgiveness when we make mistakes or fall off the path of discipline. It responds to invitation, growth, invitation, effort, love, encouragement. Even plants grow better when we speak loving words. Tons of experiments to show that. So if you want to grow, get a coach that's going to give you love, invitation, effort, challenge when needed, and be on your side to get you to the goal, not to coddle or to be a shoulder to cry on about why you can't do that. It is within your grasp to have anything you want. And when I say that, sometimes people go, not me. Yes, you, right here, right now. Really, you can have what you want if you're willing to do the work, walk the path that goes there. Growth responds to love, invitation, effort, and our word of the day today, perseverance. Nothing good comes easy. Nothing good ever did. You got to keep on trying, keep on pushing, fall in love with the process, lean in, love yourself for going all in. And one of the most important things I say over and over again, for me at least, was to get good coaching. No one ever got to the podium, any podium of anything. Art, music, singing, Olympics, sports, oration, anywhere without coaching, mentoring, encouragement. And if you don't have that right now, I believe you, go find it. I didn't have that for most of my life. The last 17 years since I had the divine intervention in 2007, I have had that. And it has made all the difference. So get the help, encouragement, knowledge, mentoring, coaching that you need, because you're worth it. Perseverance is key. It's completely under your control, and it will lead you powerfully and without fail in the direction of creating your ultimate life.
Never hold back and you'll never ask why. Open your heart and this time around.
Right here, right now. Your opportunity for massive growth is right in front of you. Every episode gives you practical tips and practices that will change everything. If you want to know more, go to kellenflukigermedia.com. If you want more free tools, go here, yourultimatelife.ca. Subscribe, share.
Stand with your heart in the sky and your feet on the